Hello again, friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to a Talking Town midweek. I know, it's a midweek without being a match preview. Shocking. It's a live broadcast. I love being live with you. Wonderful people. So do come in whether you're watching live or on catch up. I do still appreciate the comments and the live chat. The live chat is absolutely already going wild. Stephen Peck with a £5 super sticker before we've even gone live. Stephen, thank you so much for that generosity. I really appreciate it. We've got lots to cover, haven't we, friends? Let's be honest. Having sat here and twiddled our thumbs for weeks, suddenly it's all non-stop. We've got Sam Morsey possibly leaving the football club. I put possibly in there because it's not been confirmed, but it's all signs are looking like he could be leaving the football club. That's a big shock. Let us know your thoughts on that one live. We've got Omari Hutchinson, our football club turning down 35 million. I had to pinch myself a little bit there when I saw that, because this is a club that would normally sell, well, in previous years would sell its best assets for a very small fee with a fantastic instalment plan or whatever. So that was big. Then we've got Hayden Hackney being linked, 23 years of age, Middlesbrough last season, really good stats, expected Premier League move. Town potentially showing interest. Another link this afternoon. It's all going wild, and we've obviously got our Discord update. We're going to end the show, so there's lots to stick around for. Hit the like, hit subscribe, and I'll try and get your comments on the screen as and when I can. And of course, you can come on the show anytime you want. It's your platform to have your say in your own words, for fans, by fans. Just write ! Link in the chat, all one word. And our night bot, our resident bot, because Gov ain't got time to moderate as well, will give you the link for you to come on and have your say. Now, joining me as well in this endeavour is Mr. Matthew Phillips. Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good, thanks. I'm okay. Do you want to explain to everyone that you had family stuff going on, which is why we're a little bit late? We don't just sit in cupboards waiting to do shows, do we? There's stuff going on.
I'm much preferring sitting in this, this broom cupboard of mine. Somebody called it a photo booth after my show on Sunday night.
I get that. Like you would do for your passport photo. I get that. Like at train stations.
Don't offend my photo. I nearly called it a photo booth. Don't offend my broom cupboard. My poor broom cupboard. No,
I've not been in one. I've not been in one of those for years. I need to get a passport updated. Maybe I'll have to break the duck and get in there.
Pop round here and use the webcam.
Yeah, you can take a photo of me. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's a plainish background. It's what you need, isn't it? A plain background.
Yeah.
But no, we're live because I've got two children under 5 and neither wanted to eat their dinner, so it turned into a food fight, a one-sided food fight. Where I'm just dodging, like we had curry, so I'm dodging the naan bread, the bargees flying across the room.
Yeah.
And I was like, get me in this room quick.
You've done well not to get any down here.
Well, I said to you before we went live, I've not had a chance to check if I'm covered in, if I've got a korma sauce dripping down the side of my face or not. But
it's your worst nightmare, isn't it? Wasted curry. If you was out on a Saturday night in the restaurant, wouldn't be happening with it.
I love a good curry. Anyway, I'm finally pleased to be sat here amongst friends talking about our football club. That I can tell you for free. We've got lots of comments coming in. Joe says, imagine Marcus Evans turning down 35 million, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, that's another dimension. That's a dream world. Yeah.
I can't imagine it because I don't think it would have happened, would it?
Yeah. We didn't have, I don't think the team was worth 35 million, was it? Let alone a single player.
That's true. I think Dino said a great point as a comment on one of the videos I put up earlier, where he said, the club wanted 40 million for Omari Hutchinson.
Yeah.
The club went for 40 million only a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
That was a great point.
These are the giant strides we've made under Game Changer and everybody. So, I mean, yeah, fair play. A very different world to the one we were moaning about when we started Talking Town 5 years ago.
Yeah. Jem says, thank you, Sam Morsy, for that away goal at Watford. Knew we were going up then. Yeah, when he robbed the Watford centre-half.
Yeah,
and
the 2-1.
And then the famous goal celebration where he sort of, it's that strut.
Oh, don't get us started. It could get a bit teary. Don't get us started.
We need to talk about it. We need to talk about it because, look, club legend gets banded around too often in football these days. Oh, this player's the greatest of all time. Or this player's a club legend. This player's the best player I've ever seen. All these really good things, but they get banded around too often. In the end, they sort of start to mean less and less. This is a club legend. This is somebody that when he arrived, Paul Cook said, I believe, if I'm remembering right, it won't happen too many times with Sam Morsey in the side. And he was bang on the money. a lot of things haven't happened because Sam Morsey's been in the side and his play's been at a high level consistently and constantly. The only time you can ever really say as a Town fan where you thought about Sam Morsey's play was last year in the Premier League, the most elite level of football, and every player goes through that at the Premier League level. The best go through it, and those that are new to it go through it, and he was brand new to that division. He's never let us down. It's a big shock to me, Matt. What about you, and what about the chat at home? Let us know your thoughts on this one. Sam Morsey, possibly, I'll still say possibly because I'm thinking on it a little bit, but possibly leaving a football club.
Yeah, well, we discussed it Sunday, didn't we, on the members show, that we said, you know, we've always felt we was in the twilight era now of Sam Morsey's career at Ipswich. We knew this was coming, didn't we?
We did.
And we did say we could be in the twilight days, and so it has proved, because he's obviously flown out to meet with the representatives of Kuwait Sporting Club, Kuwait SC. You know, they're going to offer him a fantastic monetary package in the twilight of his career, and he came to us as pretty much a journeyman, really. If you think he'd been at Port Vale, Chesterfield, Middlesbrough, Wigan, and to think that he went from dropped down from Middlesbrough to come to us in League One to go on the huge journey with him at the helm with McKenna as the captain to take us into the Premier League. I think he done fantastic, and I think he done fantastic in the Premier League up to about November, December, when I think probably it caught up with him a little bit. It was asking a lot in it to go from League One, where you're kind of verging on journeyman territory, to suddenly captaining Ipswich Town. And everyone was so surprised that we'd even made it to the Premier League. Sam Morsey included, most probably. And I think he done great. And look, we know we didn't have a very good 2025. January right through to the end of the season was a real struggle, wasn't it? We don't even win a home game, do we? No. The only home game we won was against the World Club champions, everyone. Does that make us World Club champions by default?
By default.
Yeah, couldn't beat us, could they? Over 2 games. So he will go. Look, we're all gutted he's going to go. Absolutely gutting. Like you were when Matt Holland left mine. Wouldn't come out of your bedroom.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I was absolutely gutted.
We're kind of, as now grown adults, we're kind of in that space, aren't we, at the moment? But he'll go with our best wishes, great memories, club legend, back-to-back promotions. We said Sunday in the members show. Only really Matt Holland probably comes close to someone who got us promoted at Wembley, captained us into Europe, took us to the San Siro. You know, Luke Chambers was a real good club man, but he was in that horrible Marcus Evans era. Jason DeVos was a great captain for us, but we were, you know, in the Royal era, but treading water, really couldn't quite get into the Premier League, could we? Matty Holland and Morsey in the last 20 years have actually done stuff that resonate and have a lasting impact in the DNA of the club, and he'll go with our best wishes. I mean, it's a great move for him. I think they play in the Asia Champions League, so he'll be playing in that tournament or a variation of it. I don't know if they have like their version of Europa League and all that kind of thing, but certainly he's going to be playing in kind of cross-continent stuff. So, I mean, fair play to him.
Yeah, absolutely. STST says nobody in their right mind would turn down a massive pay rise. Respect to Morsey, top player, not quite Matt Holland, but close. Yeah, whereas Mike Baker's sort of at the other end of it, where he says, not a legend for me, good, reliable player, excellent skipper, but for me, he doesn't make the legends list. Well, yeah, I think he does. I mean, you know, it depends. Everyone's got a different
harsh criteria there, mine. Mike's got really harsh criteria.
I think everyone's got a different legends list, because I can't put, you know, I go by what I've seen, right? Now you can say, oh, you know, this player was really good. Didn't see him. Yeah. I'll take your word for it. But everyone's got a different criteria for how their legends lists are put together, because I'm of a certain age, you're of a certain age, Mike will be of a certain age, AD will be of a certain age. You know, there's all different ages and people who have seen all different types of players. You know?
Exactly, it's different contexts, isn't it? I mean, if you're like Mike Woods, Colin, you know, Mike, maybe if you've seen us lifting 78 Cup at Wembley, you've gone over to Amsterdam to see us win the 81 UEFA Cup. Then you know, that's kind of different gravy, isn't it? A little bit. We can only really go on what is the modern era, probably 2000 through to where we are now, and the club was treading water, did nothing until you had Matty Holland. That was the first bookended by Matty Holland and Morsey, pretty much.
Absolutely. That era. Yeah, and I think that's all you can go on. It's almost like when you put anytime on social media, you put the words "who's the greatest of all time," you're going to get 1,001,001 different.
Oh yeah, everyone's got a different opinion. What makes the debate interesting, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And some people have seen, you know, some players play like, you know, Maradona, Pele, etc. Whereas some have seen Ronaldo, Messi, and it comes what you've seen. And I think context is absolutely key with all of it. For me, he's a club legend. He's consistently had a high play. And when people have left in the past, as you just sort of said there, good club men, good captains, great people, but there's always been, particularly, in recent years, in the last 20 years, 25 years supporting Town, when they've left, it's been, oh yeah, great this, but was he as good of a player, etc. With Morsey, and I know a couple of years with League One level, but he's always played at a consistently high level. Stepped down from Middlesbrough, that mustn't be forgotten. Came down to the project that was Ipswich Town, when it was a young project, when you had to sell it to players. Still, come down to League One level. We're not going to be here long. This is the vision. He made that commitment to it, bought into it, and obviously it was a roller coaster for him in the sense of, well, say roller coaster. It didn't go down at all. It just stratosphere, rocket ship to the moon. But look, yeah, absolutely love and respect Sam Morsey. And more importantly, I still felt it was a role for him to play. That's what makes it even more shocking for me. We spoke about, on Sunday's show, the members one, about the new midfield evolution and different players being linked. And we'll get to one of them a bit later on in the show. But Sam Morsey still felt like he had such a huge role. And in an expectation year, Matt, with the pressure that will come with being one of the bookies' favourites, I honestly felt that, that calming influence, that voice, that consistency of this is how we do it, this is the quality, this is the benchmark, this is what we do, the voice in the dressing room, the voice from the manager's room, when he goes in for a chat with McKenna and comes out and he speaks to his teammates, all those different things that captains do behind the scenes that you don't see because it's not in front of that camera, that would be vitally important. And obviously we've got other leaders, I'm not saying that, but I still felt there's a role for him to play at this football club. And that's what makes it more shocking for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. But, we're looking at it through the fans' lens, aren't we? I mean, if you take it from Morsey's lens, you've got Matasiwa's come in, one other's going to come in into this midfield. And that probably mean that Sam's playing time was broken down to cameos from the bench. And when you are in the twilight, I think, of your career, and you do get an offer to go and play in the Middle East and earn, great financial stability for your family, maybe generational. Who knows what kind of package it might be? Who knows? We can only dream. But it makes sense. But as fans, we'd love for him to have stayed. As we said Sunday, we'd love for him to get the Magilton style tour around the sold out stadium and give him the farewell. But doesn't look like it's going to happen, does it? Sadly, but we've got the memories. They can't be taken from us.
They can't. But that is another thing. The send off. You feel like you've been robbed a little bit of showing that love and appreciation that we've all got for him. And I think whether you think he's a legend or just been a good player, whatever you may think in terms of the legend status, we all love every single player that's been with us for the last 4 years because they've given us everything and delivered so many different memories that we'll take forward for the rest of our lives and never forget. That you want to, like Massimo's send off. He barely played last year, but he got that send off because we all love every single, even when we had players leaving the past, Marcus Harness, you had that little bit of it's very sad. It's part of that memory when Ladapo left, etc. Not quite to this level, of course, because this is Sam Morsey, but you still had that, and you can't give him a send off, and that's what makes it a little bit.
Yeah, I agree that. I mean, I'm just talking there has made me think. I can't remember what game it was, but he did like a 2-footed tackle, real blood and guts tackle on the edge of our penalty box against maybe a Southampton or someone, one of those real must-win games. Maybe it was the Port Vale game. They all blur into one. But in those promotion runs, but I remember jumping off my seat and cheering like he'd scored. It meant that much, it was a proper 100% committed tackle, and I think that probably embodies what he's given us as a club captain. I see AD saying, "Who do we think the captain's going to be?" Well, I think that's the fact that O'Shea signed a 5-year deal.
It's going to be O'Shea.
Shows that this has been rumbling for a while, I think, because we've seen what O'Shea's been like. Teams get promoted, they get relegated, he goes back into the Premier League, West Brom, Burnley, us. I'm sure that was maybe mooted by his agent as well, but maybe this has been rumbling a while, and it was nailed on that he would be captain should Morsey leave.
And to signify just how football is always an evolving beast and constantly evolves, Hayden Hackney linked on the same day, 23 years of age, a midfield player, Middlesbrough last season, expected to go to the Premier League, could still well go to the Premier League. This is a link, ladies and gentlemen. But this would be a really exciting signing and quite a good midfield player, a part of that evolution to go alongside Matisse. Who have we just? I've just forgot. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much. Forgotten his name.
You've been so good on that pronunciation. It's me who's been struggling. I'm saying it wrong.
I know. I wanted to say his name, and it just my mind went blank. I was like, who have we signed? Because I'm thinking about Marcel Ruiz.
Yeah,
we've not signed him yet. So that's who I was
wishful thinking.
I know, very wishful thinking. I'm adding more signings before they've happened anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
This is the way it goes sometimes.
Yeah. You're singing to the future. You've come up with a crystal ball.
I tell you what, if I am, people at home don't think it's ITK stuff because I know nothing. But or maybe I do. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. What are your thoughts on Hayden Hackney?
Well, yeah, I mean, you only got to go back to like June, end of May, June, where he's being linked with like Premier League clubs. Man United being one of them. And obviously he's had a really good Euros again, like Omari, part of that winning side. He's got himself a medal, got himself in the shop window. Not that I think he particularly needed it. I suppose if you're looking at a player like Hayden Hackney and you're a Premier League side like Man United, are you thinking, is this one for the future that you're going to be loaning out? Is he going straight into their first team? You get players sometimes get lost in this mix, don't you? Mason Mount being one of them. Yeah, I mean, if Ipswich can get him, I mean, what are we talking? 15 to 20 million, maybe?
This is it. How much would it?
This would be an immense signing for us, I think. I mean, he gives you that kind of proper box-to-box play, I think, which was missing in the midfield last season. We know Sam Morsy can't really play that, and it didn't seem to be the remit of Cahuste to play that either. I always felt like, as I've said it numerous times, always felt like Cahuste had a handbrake on to me, and he was neither. He mopped up very nicely with interceptions and broke away nicely with the ball, but we didn't really see it in that final third. And when we did, like against Forest, it was too little, too late, wasn't it? That was a great goal.
Yeah.
He still has my pass of the season though to Delap at Bournemouth down at Dean Court for the winning goal there. That was tremendous. But yeah, I mean, the Ipswich ain't going to be the only team in for Hackney. Is whether or not we can offer him a deal and a package and playing time that's going to resonate with him, I guess. But I mean, look, he's had Michael Carrick, who had like 35, 40 appearances for England as his coach in exactly the same position. I think he does everything really well. I think if you look at some of the stats that have been floating around him on social media and stuff, maybe his defensive stats aren't as great as what you'd want it to be, but that's why Matisse was coming to the side, and he's going to be your mopper upper there in that proper CDM N'Golo Kante kind of role, and that will give Hackney the kind of license to get forward with progressive passing and win the ball back, and that proper playmaker quarterback role, which we arguably probably haven't really had since Magilton. And Hackney's much more mobile athlete than Jim Magilton. He let the ball do all the work, didn't he? I think Hackney's the kind of player that's going to get up and down box to box, which we've kind of been missing in that kind of sky. Oh, and ditto Tommy Miller as well. That kind of player, I think, is what we'll be getting, but obviously with a much higher ceiling if he's being linked with Man United and God knows where.
Well, this is it. 23 years of age. So his best years are well ahead of him. He's already a really good football player. 5 goals, 3 assists, 9 big chances created last season for Middlesbrough. Really good stats. As you say, we're looking for somebody to go alongside our new midfield enforcer that cost the club nearly, between 8 and 10 million pounds. Yeah. So now we're looking for somebody else to be the box-to-box or maybe another tactical role within the system, but we're not looking for somebody who's going to be a DM traditionally, as it were. No. And he fits that category with 5 goals at 23 years of age. Get 5 goals from midfield is always, I think, something that you're going to really pay attention to. Create 9 big chances, have 3 assists at 23. And look, in terms of fee, this is falling into the Omari sort of camp where
how much are you going to pay?
How much you're going to pay because he's 23 and his best years are well ahead of him. You are buying for that potential in addition to what he can deliver now. And if you were a Premier League side still, this would be a player you would be looking at as a definitely one you want to supplement your squad with, because he's going to be a really good player, and you can sort of bring him into the squad bit by bit, slow by slow. You won't be looking at him, I necessarily would feel, as a starter at that level, but certainly somebody you're buying the same way Brentford are probably eyeing Omari, and other clubs may eye Omari, in the sense of, lots of potential, well worth the fee, because he'd be worth a lot more in the future. So I'm really quite excited by that link. And
I'm excited about.
But if you had to be pressed right now, and obviously it's just a feeling, is it really something that's going to get over the line? Because my feeling says no. My feeling says this isn't one that ultimately you look back in September and say, we got that one over the line.
I suppose it depends if there was Premier League interest outside of Manchester United, for example, because I don't think he's going to be a starter there. I don't think Hayden Hackney's going to be in the midfield that's going to reignite Manchester United under Amorim. I might be wrong, but look at Kobe Mainoo, for example. He was like a kid of 18, 19 in the England squad and everything, and he kind of disappeared, didn't he, last season, and was on the periphery. And again, you've seen, even though he's older, Mason Mount, who was a wonder kid, he's kind of gone missing there as well. So that's always the risk, isn't it? A young player, like you say, world is his oyster at the moment, goes to Man United or teams that have eyeing top 6 for the forthcoming season. You could get lost in the mix, like you say. He might be one just to shuffle in the pack. But then if someone came in like a West Ham or someone of that nature, or Bournemouth, or then you might have increased playing time. I mean, you can see how the contracts are working with like Delap and Hutchinson in terms of relegation clauses and stuff. I mean, if Hackney was to come to Ipswich, we don't get promoted. A bid comes in from a team, I don't know, is a team that finishes in the top half of the Premier League next season. That automatically triggers him to be able to go. So, I mean, it's all, you can protect the player in these contracts, can't you? Certainly, I think he would come and get playing time. I mean, he's getting playing time at Middlesbrough at the moment in the same division, but maybe he'll look at Ipswich as being a part of a story, a narrative under McKenna. I mean, look, Carrick could have told him good things about McKenna, being that they're good friends. Come and be a part of a promotion push. Not to say that Middlesbrough won't be part of that, but we would obviously be in certainly a better position with parachute payments and the cash we're spending. I mean, we've just shown it in the window here, haven't we? With Matisse, Kipre coming in, and God knows who else will come.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay. Don't forget, we are partnered with the East Anglian Air Ambulance. If you want to help save lives and have the chance to win £1,000 every week, play the East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery. By playing from just £1 each week, you are helping to keep their yellow helicopters flying. The East Anglian Air Ambulance Lottery creates 18 winners every week, with prizes ranging from £50 to £1,000. Over 18s only. T&Cs apply. And please, whatever you do, as I always say, gamble responsibly. Got a couple of comments. We've got somebody who's clicked the link and is coming in to have their say. Still got Omari Hutchinson to come up as well. Not obviously Omari himself. I'm not over-promising there to under-deliver.
That'd be an exclusive. That'd be an exclusive, wouldn't it?
So if Omari suddenly appeared after clicking the link, I'd be like, wow, let's get him on. No, look, we're discussing Omari Hutchinson. We haven't got Omari Hutchinson coming on. But first of all, what we have got is it's equally as good. Mr. Frank himself. Frank, welcome in. How you doing?
Hi, Frank.
Fine. Hi, guys. It seems to work better on the mobile than it does on my PC because I can see it. See me hear and see me loud and clear, so to speak.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to see you. I was just thinking this morning. I've not seen or heard from Frank in a while. I hope he's all right. Are you well, first and foremost? Let's get that out of the way. Are you well?
Yeah, not so bad, thanks. After the broken collarbone, I'm still on the mend, but that's not been fully resolved. I've still got this lump sticking out my neck, but yeah, it doesn't sound very pleasant, but I can still throw darts, still play pool, and still pick up a beer, so it's not all bad news.
No,
you had no problem picking up a beer in the Black Horse with me and Mike Woods, did you? We'll do that again, Frank. We'll do that again soon, hopefully.
I enjoyed it very much, to be honest. I really did.
Apologies to anyone eating their dinner. Obviously, through that, but appreciate you, Frank. So, what's your views on town this evening, my friend? What's on your mind?
Well, I think it's a mix, but it's to be honest, it's a bit disappointing. I mean, we're losing so many players. There's still no sign of a new striker in sight, as far as I can see. I don't want to be the harbinger of doom and gloom so early in the new season, as we haven't actually got there yet. But we've lost a lot of key players. Now, it is very sad to see Sam Morsey go, but you've got to say to yourself, look, if you were him, wouldn't you do the same thing? You know, for his family, he'd get a big payday for a couple of... the cat has arrived on the scene, taking in... So I sort of get that. I totally get it. What I found a bit bizarre was that Massimo Luongo was... he looked very sad about it. He's a year younger than Sam Morsey, and he did have a few injury issues, but I thought he was very good in the Championship, and to let him go so cheaply, and maybe Millwall would take him on now, that's also a bit of a disappointment. The lack of attacking options, and Omari Hutchinson. Here's a big question mark, isn't it? Is he worth 40 million? Well, maybe Brentford thinks so. And would you think, in your honest opinion, that it would be a good idea to let him go? He was a bit inconsistent last season, but look how good he was in the Championship. And like a good wine that matures with time, he will get better. So in my opinion, I have mixed views on the subject. I think if Town were to get 40 million, they could use it usefully.
Well, I'd ask you that same question, Frank. What do you honestly think? You know, what's your gut feeling? Would 40 million be the right fee for you? Because I know some people in our Discord, for example, they're like, you know, don't sell at any price. So where are you with it? If they came out with 40 million tomorrow, would you know, snap Brentford's hand off, or are you feeling you need more? Oh, he's frozen. All right. Well, don't worry, Frank. Appreciate you coming on the platform. Anyways, good to see you.
See if we can bring him back. I mean, to answer that question, mine, I don't think Ipswich could turn down 40 million, could they? I mean, it's just a crazy amount of money, isn't it? For one player.
Well, this is it. So this is where we're at, right? So those that are perhaps just coming in from a long day at work, or have not seen my short or whatever, this is where we're at, right? So the relegation release clause expired yesterday at 5 p.m. Brentford, we believe, did put a bid in, but they put it in across 3 stage payments. I don't know if they use PayPal or Klarna, or I don't know what they were using, but they put it across. The paying 3. And Town said that doesn't work for me. That don't work for me, and rejected it. And then the 5 p.m. came and 5 p.m. went, and now the club have all the negotiation cards. They can put their price on the player, and it's down to the buying clubs to either meet it or negotiate Town down from what could be, and I'm not saying 40 years, what could be a ridiculous fee. You could say 50 million quid. In the same way, Delap, for example, I imagine that probably had an expiry on it. If we'd got to that point, you bet your bottom dollar that would have gone from 30 to suddenly 50 or 60, and then you would have been negotiating with a host of clubs. Who could
have foreseen that when Liam Delap scored that goal against Fulham, for example, at Portman Road, by July he'd be standing next to Donald Trump lifting the Club World Cup at Chelsea. I mean, talking about weird scenarios. You could even dreamt that one up, could you?
No.
But look, if Omari was to go and Ipswich get 40 million plus, you're doubling your money on Hutchinson, aren't you? Which we know is probably what Ashton wants to do, isn't it? Because it's part of this player trading model. I mean, Colin's saying 35 million is peanuts in today's market. Is it? I mean, Brentford's actual record signing is 33 million. That Igor Tudor that they bought from Brazil, didn't they? And then he got the knee injury, and then he didn't play. I mean, that's a hell of an outlay for them, I would say.
33 is their record signing. I've been saying that all summer long, that you're asking clubs to break their record signing. So I'm really surprised that Brentford did it, because I didn't anticipate anybody really going for the 35 release clause. They did. Obviously, the payment terms, the payment plan, whatever, wasn't quite right for the football club, and gave us the room to say no. Brilliant that we've said no, because as we said, tongue in cheek, a lot of times we would have just said, yeah, okay, no problem, and taken that 35 or whatever was the upfront fee down to the bank and cashed it and sent him on his merry way to Brentford. But we didn't. We stood firm, and now it's at 40 million. That's what the report I was reading today. I did link it in the video earlier. The journalist's name escaped me. I think his name's Sam from Standard Sport. Oh,
from in Standard, was it?
I can't remember quite where it was. It's in my video from earlier. But it's at 40 million, apparently. So,
Ipswich now hold the cards, don't they? It's whether or not they feel like they want to keep. They can keep Omari Hutchinson because he's under contract, and there's no relegation clause there to force our hand. Or we look at it and go, brilliant. We can take 40, 45, whatever it might be, and invest it in the side with this striker, with the next Omari Hutchinson, whoever it might be. I mean, we're a bit of a win-win. We'll either be quids in, or Omari will stay and hopefully have the season like he had when we got promoted the first time round. So I think it's a win-win for Ipswich. I think as Ipswich fans, and as Colin's probably alluding to there, we want him to stay really because he's a pivotal player. We've seen what he's done at the Euros, and we know he can be that maverick, creative player. That's just a level above the Championship skill set really. But the money in it, that's the thing. You can do so much for that money. And you also factor in what we got for Delap. What was it, 25 mil in the end once you paid Chelsea, whatever it was. Quid's in for Town. We've never been, as we said before, never been in such a great position financially. We are making hay.
This is it. Ashley says, I feel we're being too ambitious again, wasting time on targets that aren't interested. We don't do that, do we, Ashley?
Well, been down that path.
We are known for tracking players across 2 or 3 windows. Are we?
These are just the ones where the lights got through the cracks, isn't it? Who else? Who knows what else we might be targeting at the moment? But this. Some people in the chat saying this Ruiz is going to turn down Ipswich, according to Mexican media. that will have to wait and see. But that just goes to show you that we've expanded our horizons to the other side of the world, looking at people that are playing in international football. And I still think, you know, if Ruiz doesn't want to come here, Ipswich is still very, very attractive proposition, given we've just come out of the Premier League. We've still got Kieran McKenna. We've got a lot of money to be able to pay on wages. We could sell a bit more of a dream, you know, come back into the Premier League with us in 12 months is how we're selling it. And you can earn some good wage as well along the way.
And there was whispers about Sam Morsy departing the football club before the news came out yesterday that he was actually, you know, potentially going to be doing it. So, and people in football circles aren't silly. When they hear whispers about one of your midfield players leaving and you've only got one left on contract or two with Cam Humphreys, oh, you've signed one, that's three, but you're still short. It doesn't take, you know, anyone with, you know, genius to work out, well, they might want a midfielder, you know, so who's really good at the moment, who's available. They've got ambition, they've got money from the parachutes. Who could, you know, it doesn't take a lot. And obviously football circles are really tight and really intelligent people. So sometimes you see a link and it gets through, like you say, and other times it's just people going, well, they must want a midfield player, right? Yeah. So could that be one they're interested in? And obviously the ones that are really good, you hope and pray that, you know, they generally are interested in them. That's what you generally hope, right?
Cahuste still hasn't moved anywhere, has he? I think he's still at Napoli.
No, exactly.
And then none of those moves have moved. We'll probably go full circle and end up joining us.
Probably, yeah.
I think it would please a lot of people. That would please a lot of people, I think.
Oh, it pleased me, without a shadow of a doubt. Beard's been here for 13 months, a YouTube member for 13 months. Beard, we appreciate you, not just for the 13 months, but also for being a big part of our Discord server. Of course, he's a mod there as well. Keeps the law, does Beard. You know, I say keeps the law. It polices itself, really. But, you know. Beard. This is it. So I've got a question from the chat. Benjamin Brother, Gov, do you think Omari's staying or going? Honestly, okay, I'll answer it, and then I'll expect you to answer it as well. Look, I said earlier, £40 million. My head says that's an awful lot of money. It's a big figure, and there's lots of noughts after that 4 at the very beginning, and you start to think, what could you do with that, and how could you utilize it? How could you use it? And I almost got into the mindset earlier, and I might just be playing, you know, dreamland accountancy. If they want to structure that across 2 payments, that gives you £20 million for the second year. Should you not get promoted, where the parachute money goes down, you then got another £20 million, which obviously would help that money going down and give you a little bit of a war chest for 2 years, right? As opposed to not boom and bust 1 year only, because it's not going to be zero coming in the football club, but it gives you a little bit of a cushion, because 20 million is still 20 million. Or do you go higher? Look, but the question was, do I think he's going to stay or go? It's got a lot of legs, this story, Matt. A lot of legs. And it's July 16th. We're in August yet. My feeling is he probably goes.
Yeah, I think most likely. I also think there's context around which club it is. If it was Bournemouth offering 40 million because they've sold Cliver or Semenyo, for argument's sake, I think that's a no-brainer for him. There's a little question mark over Brentford in that Keith Andrews has come in, completely novice manager in the Premier League. And I've said before, you've seen managers with much more experience, McKenna, Steve Cooper, Russell Martin, Ruud van Nistelrooy, to name before, struggled to keep their clubs in the Premier League. So I think there's a risk would come with Brentford. Certainly if they sell like Visa or Mbuema goes to Manchester United, there's going to be some risk there with a novice manager. So maybe that's something to factor in. But if a club is willing to pay 45 million for Omari Hutchinson and you think he's going to be playing week in, week out in the Premier League, it's whether or not he feels like he's going to be in a mid-table battle, pushing for Europe, or going to be in a relegation battle. That's where the variable is on which club it is that it ends up offering the money.
Yeah, I completely agree. And obviously that is an interesting thing to watch, because Brentford are currently selling a player to Man United. And I saw something posted on our Discord earlier that like Brentford wanted a certain figure from Man United, and they were negotiating that. So that's one to keep an eye on, because the higher that potentially goes, the more you've got every right at the negotiating table to say, well, we know you've now got this, and actually we want this, and you hold those negotiating cards, unlike you did last week with the clause. You can set the parameters of the deal. You can be the one that's talked down, as opposed to saying, Yeah, you're right. He has got a clause. Yeah, okay, you've met the payment terms.
Trevor, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, you got again. It's like musical chairs in managerial things. Yeah, exactly. The fees are the same. And Trevor Amos makes a really good point there. What about Forest, Omari to Forest to replace Anthony Elanga, who's gone to Newcastle? Yeah, then suddenly you're playing European football. Now his agent and him are both going to say, "I want to go there," so I can play in those tournaments. So the club is the big variable in it. There's risk with Brentford. I think they could be annoying. I'm not. Look, I wish Keith Andrews all the best. I think he was a great loan player for us, and I hope he does really well there. But if he doesn't, we could be looking over our shoulder, them knocking on the door for McKenna around Christmas time, which is generally sacking season, isn't it? As we saw ourselves, November, December, everyone around us was getting rid of their managers, weren't they?
Yeah, and as a football and as an Ipswich Town fan, crucially, I don't think you want to see him go, because I think we could all sit here and see the season that lies ahead and the potential of him being a real cut above at this level, and what that means, and also keeping hold of a really promising player that's going to be, like Hayden Hackney, his best years ahead of him. But when I mentioned like
Omari and Hackney in the same team, I mean, that's the other
Siwa and Ruiz. Oh, what a team that would look at this! We're suddenly building an all-star championship team. But
it is
to go with Smollick's top goal scorer a year ago, to go with Connor Chaplin, Jack Clark.
How'd you like them apples, Birmingham?
Steady on with this. We've been here before. Mondays where Rich said that me and him could play centre half. And we ended up.
I remember that. Yeah, that was maybe false confidence.
So let's settle on the false confidence. But what I was going to say is, if you keep hold of him, really good. But when I mentioned the payment plan, you've got to look at it also with non-Ipswich Town head on for a minute and protect the club. And equally, when I say this, I say that to say this. Earlier in the summer, there was a whole host of teams potentially interested. The best thing, if we are going to lose him, is that Brentford's 35 has alerted 2-3 other clubs in that list that wanted him, and suddenly you get a feeding frenzy of transfer bids, because people now know there's a team definitely interested. We have to get in there quick, and that's when you can start to play the phones, start to play them off against each other. Oh well, I think they're going to come back with an increased bid. So what you got? Okay, in that case, and you can start to drive that fee up. Just like bargaining up with David Dickinson, you can just start to drive it up.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I would be surprised if Borussia Dortmund from the Bundesliga don't come knocking, given their history of English youngsters, both Bellinghams, Jadon Sancho, this Jamie Gittins who's just left to come to Chelsea. So they might see Omari there, and they'll pay the money that we want. So we'll see. But yeah, I think, taking the money out of the equation and you start building this side together, like a Hutchinson and Hackney in there together, I mean, suddenly it becomes like Harlem Globetrotters in the Championship, doesn't it? I mean, it's like a dream scenario. Ipswich Jules is saying Ruiz has no interest in going to Ipswich second division, and his transfer to Ipswich Town has fallen through, according to Cesar Luis Merlo, who was the journalist who broke the story in the first place.
Yes, he was. Hang on, I'm just going to his Twitter account, which I will have to get Google to translate for me. But I can't see anything. Where have you seen this? Interesting one. Let's give us some links, or
tell us, Jules,
or copy and paste. Because obviously I am live, and it's very difficult to be live and having a conversation while also trying to find
got all sorts of Fabrizio Romano's going on here. Blizzard says the bid was accepted. Well, it would be, wouldn't it? It was probably about 10 million. But he's declined the move. He's declined the move to England. So there we go. Well, it's not meant to be, is it? Be another opportunity for somebody else. Hayden Hackney, maybe. Fingers crossed. Touch wood.
Shabby, who absolutely loved the start of Sunday's show, by the way. Shabby went as far as to say it was the best start we've had in a long time. Shabby may have even said it ever. And that was obviously me not being a part of it and dropping out. So I appreciate that, Shabby. Truly I do. Feedback is everything in this game, and I always appreciate the feedback.
Well, we should let people know that the trialing of the new software has been going very well in the last two shows, isn't it? Pretty much. It's moved on a step, everybody. It's going to be good.
It has. But I wanted to give people a chance to definitely get on the show tonight, should they want to.
Yeah. And then they dropped off. Frank drops off.
Then Frank, it wasn't me this time. So we all get it. But anyway, back to Shabby, right? Because we don't hold grudges on this platform, Shabby. We're all friends.
No.
So even though you hurt me dearly with that comment, no, this is an uncomfortable question. When do we get Matt to lead it again? No, wait, that's what he says. Shabby says, no, it's an uncomfortable question. Who else moves on? Who else moves on?
Well, I mean, if Omari was to go, then I don't think anyone else would move on. You would not need to, would you? With all that money in the coffers, unless you had. I mean, who else is even? Who even else is sellable? So you got Delapa's gone. Argument's sake, a question mark over Omari. Who's the other real sellable asset? Probably Davis. I mean, you know, again, is that someone you want to lose, given he's the championship assist record holder from the season before last? So I don't see too many after. If Hutchinson was to go, I don't think anyone else would leave, unless you've got players pushing for moves. In terms for big money, anyway, don't see anyone else leaving.
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah, you're right. In terms of sellable assets, I mean, O'Shea signed a 5-year deal, but then in football, signing a 5-year deal doesn't necessarily mean you're definitely going anywhere. You wouldn't expect him to. That's not me sort of saying I think it might be O'Shea leaving. I'm just saying, you know, in terms of sellable assets, O'Shea was obviously one of them. Leif Davis is another, as you've mentioned. But you're not, you know, listing too many because you haven't got.
Talking like, I mean, yeah, there's a few names coming up here. Muric. Well, you might imagine Muric will go out on loan.
Broadhead could be one, says Dom Dean. Great comment from Dom.
I'd hate to see Broadhead go for the same reasons. I'd hate to see anyone else go. I think he'll rip it up in the championship. He's already done it once.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're talking like, you know, money you can't refuse kind of offers, I think only Leif Davis is probably gonna garner that. I don't see us getting our money back on Philogene if he was to be linked with someone else. He's got to get fit first.
Yeah,
he'll be someone who's already proven that he was really good in the champ for Hull City. I think it was something like 18 goal involvements or something. Bring that on for next season.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely, yeah. So because that injury, obviously, for me, if he was to move on, it may be towards the back end of the window, potentially on a loan. I don't see us selling him, Jaden. I mean, it'd be a real disappointment, wouldn't it, to track somebody? I don't see how
you're going to get. It would cost more than Omari, I think. I don't see how you're getting that money back.
Well, you just forget the money for a minute. Just for a minute, you know, to track somebody across 2 windows, who you basically had for a couple of games suffered a terrible injury, so you couldn't really see him over a sustained period of time. To then let him go or sell him, certainly sell him. A loan maybe to get him back playing football, up and running, back to us in January. With the squad you've got players around in those positions, potentially that one has more legs than, for me, selling. I can't see a sell. But then I've been proved wrong before in football, and never say never, I guess.
I think you'll do. I think Ashton's doing really well to get the money back they got for Philogene. To be honest with you, but I mean, look, let's wait and see. I think probably more likely scenario is he'll get back to fitness and be playing with us in the championship next season. Mentions of Al Hamidi there.
Luton interested. I saw.
Yeah, Luton interested. Look, I mean, look, we saw in the promotion season when he stepped up from League 2 into the Championship that he had very, very good cameos off the bench and scored 4 or 5 goals. I know one was a penalty. Could have had more. Missed the penalty, didn't he? So that'd be an interesting one. But you're not talking. We're not talking big money here, are we? I mean, that will just be nominal fee kind of stuff. If he was to move on,
I think he said where I saw it then, but I can't remember where I saw it. Where was he linked? Was it
the Hamidi one?
Yeah, was it TWTD?
TWTD, yeah.
That's it.
Those were the days.
Because so much happens in a short space of time, you end up visiting all sorts of sites or Twitter accounts that you've never really even considered looking at before.
Mexican ones,
you know. But this is it. But this is it. And you're like, where is it? Did I see that, or did I just hear that? Because sometimes in our Discord you hear things. Other times in our Discord, by the way, I mean, if you're not a part of our Discord, you absolutely should be, because we've got some spot on the money people in there that are right more times than they are wrong. That's all I'm going to say. But to be, this wasn't an advert, but I'm going to go for it anyway. To be a part of our Discord, you have to be a member. That's $4.99. Cancel at any point, but you get a membership, $4.99. Whole load of perks coming down the road. One of which is a new and improved Discord, merch, giveaways, all different things coming. But for now, access to the Discord, and there's some good people in there. Fun people, good conversation, no social media toxic, nonsense.
No,
And
he's
some
not.
bang on the money people, Matthew. I'm sure you'll agree as the media mogul. There are some people in that
Yeah,
chat
I
who you
agree.
think,
Oh,
you
yeah.
think, how do they know that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so if you're
Like,
sick to death of like Twitter or X, whatever it's called, and people being overly opinionated,
or
then
people's dinners on Instagram, or
come over to the Discord. You can chat town in a nice, safe, friendly environment,
yeah,
and maybe get a scoop or two. Not
yeah,
beers. I mean, news.
yeah. Or does the
Okay.
66 bus run through here anymore, or anything you see on Facebook?
Yeah,
It's all sorts. You get
yeah,
different posts on different social medias, don't you? Right? You
yeah,
get
yeah,
it's so funny just dipping into one or the other after a while. You're like, I'd forgotten why I'd left, and now I
yeah,
remembered.
yeah.
Aidy's been a member for 37 months. He's on the Discord.
Wow.
Appreciate you. Beard, obviously, Beard, a bit biased because obviously he's one of our community helpers there, but he says Discord crew, big up. Up with Discord, says Owen. There are changes coming to Discord. I want to mention this very quickly. So, for members that are on the Discord, for those that aren't, you can also listen, obviously. There are changes coming to the verification process. If you haven't yet verified, there are instructions within the server. Please do so. If you're through Ko-Fi, there's a certain way. If you're through YouTube, there's another certain way. But as part of our changes of the new server being rolled out, of which that's happening very shortly, if not tonight, certainly in the next 24 hours, there's going to be there's 4 channels of ITFC content. There's a game zone. There's going to be giveaways, regular polls, trivia night. We're going to have a trivia night once a week. Me as the host, because I know next to nothing. ITFC trivia. I'll just quickly put that in. ITFC trivia. So that might interest Colin, right?
This is all news to me as well, everybody.
This is the resident goat, Colin. He might be interested in that one. He might win that one quite regularly. Prediction league, fantasy league, all different stuff. All good stuff, all coming down the line. I'll do a proper video for members about it soon, but I just wanted to mention it here and now. So I remembered and I didn't forget. And then I go, oh, I meant to do that, but I've done it. What we really want is a Matt Phillips watch along. Yes, that's what I really want, Beard. I keep asking him and he keeps saying, no, we need to start applying some pressure here. Like Tony Soprano levels, you need to start delivering.
Tony Soprano levels. Well, I'd have to think about it if I was going to be chucked into a river with concrete boots, maybe.
I wasn't going that far, Matt. I was just going that far. I was just going that far.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we're going to be on TV enough times, aren't we, to do that kind of stuff.
Opening night of the season. Who says no? Who says no? Who says no to an opening night of the season?
I probably would say no to that one. Yeah, let's see what we're coming up against first.
That'd be part of the fun. We sit here absolutely shocked as anything, going, "What on earth's this all about?"
Yeah, we'll be 2 up in 15 minutes, won't we?
Well, then we can end the stream early, can't we? Then we can end the stream early.
Aidy's asking me, no cricket tonight, Matt. Tomorrow
Tomorrow.
I'm down now.
Yeah. Anyway, right, we're done for this evening. I don't think there's anything else. There was another link actually, very quickly before we leave. Matt, wasn't there? A Brighton young player.
Lad from Brighton. Yeah. Well, neither of us could say his name, could we?
Speak for yourself. I could say it.
Malik Yalkouye from Brighton. Another one of these wonder kids they've picked up from somewhere.
I'm just waiting for my Google to load. I sat here all confident, thinking, "It's all right. Or load before I can give him it correctly to you." And then of course, my internet decides to go down. But yes, okay. Brighton, young player on loan. I think it's a loan. Any thoughts on that one? I don't know much about the player, which probably will surprise
19.
nobody.
He's 19. They got him from Sturm Graz in Austria, having joined Brighton for 6 million from Gothenburg last summer. Interesting. 5'7". Ivory Coast under-23 international. We'll have to do a little bit of research on this one. But if McKenna and Ashton have targeted him, he must be good. If Brighton have signed him, he must be good. I mean, look at their track record in the market. It's been pretty decent.
Been very decent. Yeah, very, very decent. And I don't mind that, if it is a loan, I don't mind just adding a couple of young loan players from the Premier League, like we did with Omari. The year we got promoted, brought him in on loan, young player from the Premier League. He started off, you all thought, God, this player's got excitement, but he's raw. And then as the season went on, he grew and he grew and he grew and he grew into the player that we all love now. I don't mind that though. I know some people go, oh, do we really want a young player from the Premier League? Do we want to be developing other teams, young players, etc.? And some people always sort of shudder at a young player coming on loan. I always think if they bring the quality with them, like Omari did, for example, I'm all for it. Personally, Well,
you might recall that Omari actually was the B option because everyone thought that it was going to be the Asad Diallo lad from Manchester United be the one that would come in. He'd been on loan you'd really liked him at Sunderland, hadn't you? You're like, give me that kid. And it looked like it was going to be him. And then that didn't happen. And then Omari Hutchinson, who no one really knew much about, he comes in, like you rightly say. Luton at Colchester looks really raw. You fast forward a few months later, absolutely electric. Who knows? This kid from Brighton might be cut from the same cloth, or someone we've not even heard of yet will come in and have a similar impact that what Omari had. But we'll just have to wait and see. We'll just have to wait and see.
Will. Don't forget, Stowmarket Osteopaths. Don't live life in pain. Give Freddie a call. 0144 961 633. That's 0144 961 633 for Stowmarket Osteopaths and physiotherapy services. Myself and quite a few of I say quite a few. I can't actually say few or put a number to it because I don't actually know. But one or two I definitely do know go to Stowmarket Osteopaths. So give him a call, see if he can help you today. Well, if you don't call him today, because it's 8:30 at night and he won't be there. Well, he might be there. I don't know. Try it. No, don't try it. Anyway, just give him a call when you can, really. Normally through working hours would probably be best. Anyway, I really did bad on that link. Hopefully Freddie don't listen to that one.
Funny.
Anyway, right, we're done. This man's been Matthew Phillips. You've been a wonderful audience. Thank you ever so much. If you watched on Catch Up, where were you? We missed you. Join us live next time and join the conversation, the platform that's for fans, by fans. Don't just have an opinion. Say it. Get on the platform like Frank did and then jump off like Frank did. Frank just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him. Perhaps the cat wanted his dinner, Matt.
Most likely. He'll be back. Frank will be back and we look forward to it.
I will. I'm going to email him now, though, to make sure he's all right. But appreciate everyone watching. Take care. All the best. God bless. Bye-bye. You make me smile when I think of you. If I